All right, let's talk about something huge for any sales pro using AI right now. How do you write prompts that get you incredible results without accidentally putting your company or your customers at risk? Let's jump right in.
And just so you know where we're getting our info, everything in this explainer comes straight from Chapter 3 of the Generative AI for Sales Professionals tutorial, which is from Virtualization Options LLC.
So this is the big question, right? This is the core challenge for all of us. We want to give the AI all this rich detail so it can spit out something that's actually useful and relevant, but the more detail we give it, the closer we get to that dangerous line, leaking customer names, secret pricing, company strategy. So how do you walk that tightrope?
Here's how we're going to break it all down today. First, we'll look at that dilemma. Then I'm going to show you the 5-part anatomy of a perfect, and more importantly, a secure prompt. We'll look at a pretty start before and after example, get really practical with some ready-to-use templates, and then we'll finish up with the secret sauce, the art of refining your results.
So that brings us right to our first section. Prompt engineering isn't just about getting better emails or better reports. It's become a critical security skill. It really is the art and science of giving instructions that are both powerful and protected.
Look, it all comes down to this one balancing act. A great prompt gives the AI the context it needs to be your brilliant assistant. But an unsafe prompt, well, that gives it confidential information. We're talking customer PII, that's personally identifiable information, competitive intel, secret pricing, and that can create massive, massive problems for your company. Getting this right is absolutely everything.
All right, so let's get into the how. How do we actually do this? I'm going to show you a simple 5-part framework. Seriously, think of it like a recipe you can just use every single time to build a prompt that's both secure and super effective. Okay, here it is. First, you give the AI a role, something like act as a B2B sales strategist. Second, you provide an anonymized background using placeholders like a prospect at a mid-size enterprise. Third, you get really specific with your task. Write a follow-up email. Fourth, you define your parameters. Keep it under 150 words, professional tone. And finally, this is crucial, you state your constraints. Do not mention specific pricing. See? Each step adds clarity while building this protective wall around your sensitive data.
Now for the fun part. Let's make this totally real by looking at a side-by-side comparison. On one side, we've got a prompt that is a complete data security nightmare, and on the other, a secure prompt that gets the exact same job done, but safely.
Whoa, just look at the difference here. The high-risk prompt on the left is just packed with danger. You've got PII like a customer's actual name, a specific budget, a competitor's name, confidential history about a data breach, and even exact pricing. It's a complete disaster waiting to happen. Now, look at the secure version. It achieves the same goal by using these generic placeholders like prospect and mid-sized enterprise. It focuses on the task, not the secret details. It's a brilliant illustration of just how powerful anonymization is.
Okay, so theory is great, but let's get tactical. This next section is all about giving you 4 plug-and-play templates that you can literally start using today for your most common sales tasks. And first up, it's a classic, the cold outreach email. How can AI help you write really compelling emails at scale without risking a single thing? This template is all about giving the AI a solid structure. You just tell it the target industry and role, the specific business challenge you want to talk about, and the kind of tone you're going for. You can set a word count and tell it what to include and, just as important, what to avoid. It's basically a recipe for that perfect first touch. Next up, preparing for that big meeting. AI can be an incredible sparring partner, a secret weapon to help you get ready. So, with this template, you anonymize your prospect. For example, you'd say, a healthcare tech prospect evaluating compliance solutions. Then you can ask the AI to generate insightful questions or even potential objections you might face. You can even ask it for response strategies. You get all these strategic insights without ever revealing who the meeting is actually with.
Objections. We all face them. Here's how you can use AI to build an entire library of really powerful responses.
So you describe a generic prospect in a certain industry, and you state a common anonymized objection, like concerns about the implementation timeline. Then you ask the AI to suggest different ways to handle it. Maybe one way that acknowledges the concern, another that reframes it, one that addresses it head-on. This lets you rapidly build out your strategic toolkit for handling pretty much anything.
And finally, let's talk proposals. AI can save you a ton of time on all those narrative sections. You can ask the AI to write something like an executive summary or a methodology section for an anonymized prospect, like a manufacturing prospect focused on efficiency. You just define the focus, the tone, and the length. The AI drafts the story, the narrative part, and then you manually add in all the confidential pricing and terms later. It's a huge time saver.
Now for our final section. And I gotta say, this is a real pro-level technique. The absolute best results, they don't come from one single perfect prompt. No, they come from having a conversation.
And this right here is the key takeaway. You have to stop thinking of it as giving a command and getting a final answer. Instead, think of it as a creative collaboration where you are guiding the AI toward that perfect output.
So you start with something really simple and clear. This prompt, it just establishes the basic foundation. The AI is going to give you a decent, but probably pretty generic first draft. And that's exactly what we want.
And this is where the magic happens. Instead of starting all over again, you build on that first draft with these quick, little iterative commands. Make it more conversational. Hey, shorten that paragraph. Now add a question at the end. Each tiny step refines the output, moving it from just okay to great, all without ever adding in a single piece of sensitive data.
So, look, if you remember anything from this explainer, let it be these 3 rules. Number 1, always anonymize. Replace specific names and numbers with generic placeholders. 2, use that 5-part structure. It gives you clarity and safety. And 3, refine. Start general, and then use those follow-up prompts to have a conversation and get to the perfect result. These rules will let you maximize AI's power while absolutely minimizing your risk. You now have the framework to turn your AI into a powerful and secure sales partner. The only question left is, what's the first thing you're going to build with it? Thanks for watching.